A warning, some of the images you're about to see are disturbing.
The first viral videos were shocking. At the start of the pandemic, elderly Asians attacked, slowly spreading fear throughout the Asian American community. 2 years later, the violence continues.
Reports of hate crimes are up across all minority groups. But according to the Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism, Asian Americans are seeing the biggest spike. From 2020 to 2021, the number of anti-Asian incidents reported across major cities increased 224%.
New York City making national headlines for brutal crimes against Asians. NYPD's chief of detectives, James Essig, leads the department's 4,000 detectives, including the hate crime task force, which is now under new leadership. He met us for an exclusive interview in Chinatown, just blocks away from where 35-year-old Christina Yuna Lee was followed home and murdered.
The one thing with the Asian hate crimes, more than any other particular ethnic group, it's personal. They're getting punched in the face, they're getting spit on, they'd be pushed.
3 months ago, police say a man attacked 7 Asian women in a 3-hour period. He now faces 13 hate crime charges and has pled not guilty.
Have you seen the Asian American community as out front on an issue like this?
No, never. The Asian community is very reserved, but never seen crimes like this against the Asians. It just seems like, again, 2 years ago, just astronomically spiked.
Chief Essig encourages victims to come forward.
We have spoken with some people who say that when they did come forward, that they felt that they were brushed off or that they were discouraged from reporting the hate crime. Are you concerned about that?
Well, from my perspective as the chief of detectives, when we get that case, we're going to do a full investigation.
What's your message to the officers taking these reports?
Well, taking a report, they don't fall under me. If somebody comes to the police and they're reporting something, we have to take everything serious, and especially a hate crime. If that's the case, then we have to do a hell of a lot better job.
I recently had the chance to talk with actor and now activist Daniel Dae Kim.
You already know what this means.
He's testified before Congress and is currently an advisor on President Biden's Asian American Pacific Islander Task Force. Recently, you talked about how you have noticed a lot of changes in the Asian American community and how we've responded to the spike in anti-Asian sentiment. What has struck you about the community's response?
I think first and foremost, we've galvanized in a way that I've never seen before. They've never had a greater number of donations than they had over the past year and a half or so. And that's really encouraging. I think within the community, there's a sense that we're in this together.
The president signed into law the anti-Asian hate crime bill. It directs funding to help make it easier for people to report hate crimes. It also puts reporting into multiple languages. Do you think this kind of legislation would have happened without your testimony, without your advocacy?
I think it was really the work of a lot of people who were putting together this act. We are now focused on how we can actually make it happen. What are the logistics of how getting those funds to the right places? How can we streamline this to make it the most effective?
And you know what? To answer all of those questions, next week, Kim and the AAPI task force will meet in person for the first time in Washington, D.C. They're also working on plans to advance opportunities for Asian Americans. So it was interesting talking to DDK because he comes from Hollywood, and now he's seeing how the wheels of lawmaking turn and how slowly it can be. But he's so well read in, and it's great that he's bringing so much attention to it.
Vicky, you're going to have a lot more on this conversation focused on solutions, on healing, and a special streaming. It's Today All Day, tomorrow at noon Eastern, and we please encourage everyone to watch. You've been on the story since the beginning, Vicky.
Yep.
Thank you, Vicky.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.